It's Holly here from Your Past is a Gift. Okay, so today I just wanted to touch on the fact that you are perfect just as you are. Okay. So just sit with that for a minute. I know you're probably going in your mind going, what? She's nuts today. What's going on? No. Just sit with it. Okay, you don't need a degree to be who you are. You don't need fancy clothes to be who you are. You don't need the car, you don't need the house, you don't need all this stuff outside of you. The reason you feel you need these things in your life is because society has taught us to always compare ourselves. We're always comparing ourselves to others. And so when you compare yourself to others, with some, you'll be in a better position than others. Like, say for example, you might be smarter than others at school. Let's give that example. Or at school, you might be better at sports than others. Okay, so in some things, when you compare, you're going to feel that you come up on top. You're better. Some of you might be average with everything. That's fine. That's not where I'm going with this conversation. But this comes from us always comparing ourselves to what others are doing. And so I put it to you, what if, you are perfect just as you are, because you have your gifts to give to others. You do. They're inside you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you think you are. Each one of us has our own special gifts that we can give to others. Some of us are really gifted with animals. We're really good with handling animals, and we get love through them, and that's fine. That's a connection as well. Others, it'll be with plants and gardening, and that's fine as well, because we are connected to everything. I'm not just talking about human to human level, because we're all different. So you're perfect just as you are, as long as you keep looking at what so-and-so is doing, and he's really good, look at what he's doing, or what he's got, or he must be, really happy with himself. And the truth is that no one is. We're all on the same path. We've all been through the same things. And no matter how successful, someone else may look to you. It's just an illusion. It's just how it looks. But each one of us always has something missing in our lives. There's always some area in our life that's not complete because of all of these things that we've accumulated from the past. So I put it to you today to start looking at who you are without looking at who you are compared to others, without measuring yourself compared to others. So who you are, what are you good at? And say you might sit there for a really long time and decide you're not good at anything. I beg to differ with that. But let's say you can't come up with anything. Now, are you good with children? Are you good at listening to others? Are you good with old people? There's so many old people out there so lonely, have nobody to talk to. Are you good talking to people in the same sex as you? If you're, female, are you good talking to other women? Or the same with a man. If you're a man, are you good talking to other men? It doesn't have to be you're good with everybody. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. But the problem with you not feeling that you're right, just the way you are right now, is because you're always comparing. This is what we've been taught to do from quite young. You're always comparing. And I've been blessed in my life. I've been so lucky because I was always at the top. When it came to school, I was always one of the top students. I was an overachiever. And so I was the one that they were always measuring up against me, So for me, I was fine. All I had to do was keep achieving and I'd be fine. But I was never compared to someone else because, really there wasn't anyone else, especially through school, that I, was much better. I was always at the top. So But I know with my sister, for example, she didn't like learning. She found the subjects at school boring. She didn't like reading. She found that completely boring and not interested one little bit in any of it. Not with the sports at school, not with, there was no subjects at school that she found remotely interesting. And so, my mum was always comparing her to me. And so I know then that not only did I grow up feeling that I was separate to her, but then she had this resentfulness towards me, that she wasn't the same as me, rather than teaching her to look at her strengths, and what she was good at, because she's brilliant at lots of things that are not school things. She's brilliant at cooking, and she's brilliant at textiles, at creating things with a sewing machine. There's so many other things that people can be good at that doesn't have to do with school, So recently I'm just thinking about her and remembering, I'm always hearing in the background, why can't you be more like your sister? And it used to, now I think of it and it breaks my heart, that because when you're telling someone, why can't you be more like that? You're telling them they're not good enough the way they are. That they're not good enough right now, just as they are. And I tell you this today because I know so many parents do this with their kids. They're always comparing one to the other, one against the other. And what you're doing is you're making that child feel bad that they don't have the same skills, rather than acknowledging the skills they do have, Because another thing was my sister was great at drawing, and I totally suck at it. I'm useless at trying to draw anything. I try. Whether I've got it in front of me to draw or I'm trying to do it from my imagination, it always ends up looking like a scribble. So I've given up because I think, well, we're not meant to be good at everything, right? I'm just happy with what I'm good at. And I keep building on those skills. So, maybe she would have done more with her drawing if my parents would have, pushed her in that direction rather than pushing her in the direction of she wasn't good at school, academically. So think about that today, especially if you're a parent or if you were one of those siblings that was always being compared to. Why aren't you more like your brother? Why aren't you more like your sister? Why aren't you more like so-and-so's kid down the street? Because parents even compare with other people's kids, not even with their own sometimes. So think about that. Think about, that comments like that, if they're said over and over and over again in your childhood, they make you feel that you're not good enough as you are. And if you're saying them to your kids, you can definitely stop doing that now that you understand that you're telling them they're not good enough as they are now. Because fair enough, they can do better, they can put more effort into what they're doing, but it's very hard if there's not an interest there for the subject, if there's not a passion for it. Think for yourself. If how many of you out there have done piano lessons? And I know as a piano teacher, I've had the kids come here and they have no interest whatsoever. And it's so hard for them, bless their hearts. They try so hard, to learn the music and to learn the notes, but they don't like it. They're not interested. And so the effort's not there. They'll go home and they won't practice for the week. They don't want to. So think about that this week. Think about, or today and the next few days, just think about that. Think about, comparing yourself all the time rather than accepting who you really are. It's so important for your life. Accept who you really are. And at the same time, then you learn to accept others. You accept their gifts rather than expecting them to be something else. Once you accept yourself, you start to accept others and you accept their gifts. You accept their strengths. This is so important, especially for relationships with a partner. All right, my lovelies, I'll leave you with that thought for today. Click like and subscribe below so you don't miss any of the videos. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you. Bye.